All right.
All right, guys. Hey, GeekBattleRoyale.com coming to you live from Heroes Corner Comics here on Lapalco Boulevard in Harvey. Once again, day before Valentine's Day, which is Friday, which means it is Friday the 13th. We've been sticking to a horror movie kind of theme for a little while there because of Friday the 13th. But right now we're going to change things up to talk about some big news that's actually taking place in the Marvel universe and Sony universe right now.
I was looking at
is the actual, Sony and Marvel coming to an agreement in which they'll allow Marvel to use Spider-Man now, the right to Spider-Man, which I mean, I don't know if I was the only one, because we brought this up in earlier podcasts, earlier in the year, actually last year, when we talked about favorite story arcs. We actually brought up Civil War, which is a landmark, story arc actually, which covered, 52.6 million issues. It had, 52.6 million variant covers. I mean, it was huge, It was very popular. It was a huge seller, of comics. And so it was always a question, with all these movies coming out, as Brandon's watching the
I hate the ending, man.
Yeah.
It angers me.
Yeah, it does. It's pretty bad.
It's so cheap.
Yeah. Night of the Living Dead, folks. So, is that Ed Gein? Yes, it is. That's what it looked like. But we were worried about with the new movies, with the Avengers and all that kind of stuff. Were we ever going to see Spider-Man? Were we ever going to see a Civil War story arc on the big screen? And it was one of those things in which Spider-Man is Sony. So it was like, oh man, it'll probably never happen. If it does, it's going to be something different. They're going to change things. And we were actually, all of us, I know Blake was very afraid of that actually happening because he's a big, huge Iron Man fan. He didn't want it to be that Iron Man's just going to be this total badass and he wanted Iron Man to have a fight. He wanted Iron Man to have allies. He wants Iron Man to,
and the thing was, they're famous for doing that in the movie universe is if something doesn't necessarily fit, will make that square peg go in that circle hole anyway.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just like they're doing with the Avengers now, Ultron is gonna be made by Tony Stark. And I'm kind of like,
wasn't it?
No. Pym.
Pym.
Hank Pym made it.
Pym did it. Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
and Ultron made the vision.
how much more can we dump on poor old Tony Stark?
Right, there you go.
So it would be, not only did he create Ultron, but now in Captain America 3, he's gonna be the, come join the government with me, and he's even more of an asshole.
Right.
So I'm glad that, not that he isn't going to be that asshole, but Spider-Man at least lends some credibility to what Stark's called.
Someone that's on his side. That's actually a main character.
So for those of you who are just joining us right now, we're talking about the Sony and Marvel, transition with Spider-Man, which is a huge news. I mean, we're not just saying that because we're nerds and we're not trying to make it, but it is big news.
No, we're kind of saying it because we're nerds.
Yeah, well, that too. But it is big news. It really is.
Big news.
Real quick, we got them always right here, DeBrune, our head of security. He is our little dictator. That's the man right there. He's the guy. There he is.
How did you know?
Right here to my right, Mr. Google himself, my brother, Brandon, and always on the end, my lord, my liege. Also coming to us from a remote location in the Sea of Tranquility on the moon.
Now we got it.
At Moon Base 10. Chase, can you hear us?
I can. Ready to go.
You heard that delay?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a lag.
He's there. It takes 7 seconds for sunlight to reach and moonlight to reach the Earth.
No.
So yes, it actually takes 7 seconds.
7 seconds from the sun to get to the Earth.
What about the moonlight to the Earth?
It'd be a lot shorter.
Okay, so that's why there's such a small delay right now, because we're using radio waves. We're using the power of the World Wide Web to actually bring Chase to us tonight. Chase, in all of your just vast knowledge of such topics, give us your 32.5 cents on the Spider-Man Sony Marvel debacle going on right now.
I, for one, I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to a new reboot of Spider-Man. I'm not that big a fan of the first two, especially the Tony Maguire.
Tony
Maguire. I like that.
Excuse me. Excuse me. That's the delay from the moon talking.
Right. all that moon dust?
Little do we know, Tobey Maguire's watching this, and he's like, well, "Fuck these guys."
Who is this asshole on the moon?
Yeah, seriously. We'll blow the moon up. You can't do that, Mr. McGuire. Tell me that I'm Spider-Man.
So keep going, Chase. Keep going, Chase.
I'm still waiting for them to get Peter Parker right. Okay. Because they keep casting these like 35-year-old actors to be high school students, and
you didn't like Andrew Garfield?
I did.
He was definitely better than Maguire. They're going in the right direction with him, but he still is he doesn't look like a high school student to me.
Well, I thought they got the age right. I thought they got the casting right with Garfield. I thought the script was bad because they don't know how to write Peter Parker on any of these movies, and I love Sam Raimi. I think
they just want to throw. Awesome. They just want to throw that CGI out there and show you all that awesome vision.
I think Sam Raimi, it puts out great movies. He did the Evil Dead movies. He did Darkman. All these. What was the one with Sharon Stone, the Wild West movie?
Quick and the Dead.
Quick and the Dead.
That was a great. Wow.
Western movie.
Now that's a Western I liked.
Sam Raimi. These are great movies.
Was a Western.
And then when I saw that he was doing a Spider-Man one. The 3 Spider-Man movies that come out with Tobey Maguire, I thought, man, this is going to be fantastic. He's a great director, and it's fucking Spider-Man. This is going to be amazing. And it's like, oh, it's Tobey Maguire. Who?
Yeah.
The guy who rode the horse?
Did anybody else remember the movie posters used to have around the theater before that, like a couple years before the first Spider-Man? It was Leonardo DiCaprio on it. Because he was originally just like Nick Cage, where they have those pictures of Nick Cage as Superman. It was Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah. It could have been way worse.
Actually, you don't know. I don't know that because Leo's a great actor.
He's gotten a lot better than he was.
I think he's one of the most underappreciated actors.
You can be a great actor, but that doesn't mean you have to look for it.
And that's true too.
Let's be honest. Tom Hardy's perfect in everything, but he is no Spider-Man.
How do we know?
Blasphemy.
Wow!
There was a rumbling and a shaking coming from the moon just now.
Like there's a corner you belong.
The tide went up just now, and it was. I'm looking at our producer now. He's just kind of like, keep it going, guys. Keep going. But that's okay though.
About this road concept. Plan pitch to me.
Okay.
Genius, right?
I like that. Yeah.
So anyway,
but with Andrew Garfield, I think there was with the tall hair, I
liked it.
There were bits and pieces to where, as a Peter Parker, I looked at it a lot better than I did Tobey Maguire as a Peter Parker.
But I thought the script was a little wonky. It was like childish.
Yeah. Right.
The script. When you read it and you're like...
I thought it was a great villain in the first one. I did. I thought it was a great villain.
I'd have picked somebody else.
I thought it was a great villain because it's an original villain.
Right and, let's do it right.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done the Lizard.
The Lizard was fun. Because it's kind of good to knock out all these scrubs, in your origin story.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want to do it like they did in the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire. And you're automatically going to put him out there against probably his biggest of the big bads in the origin story. That was a little silly.
Yeah.
But to knock out like the Lizard in the origin story.
Yeah, I thought that was perfect though to start the story.
That's great. I really like that. But then. The second one, Jamie Foxx's Electro wasn't that bad. It was fun. It was a cool little. It was a cool little origin story for that Electro, and I liked it. But I just thought it seemed like it was written by somebody who had read like 3 Spider-Man comics.
Right.
And they were just like some 23-year-old kid who was like, oh, I played the Spider-Man video game once. I played Maximum Carnage on Super Nintendo. I think I got it down. And he wrote.
That's what Andrew Garfield is more like. I think I'll have it down. Yes, I think I can do it. Yeah.
Does he have a British accent?
Yes.
Yes,
he's from Texas, but he has a British accent.
Well, it's Johnny Depp. He's from Kentucky.
Kentucky Tractor Company?
Yeah, he is from the Kentucky Cheesecake Tractor Company. Yeah. He's getting lucky in Kentucky. Blaine.
Kentucky Fried
Blaine, give me a let me ask you this, Blaine. Let me ask you this since we're throwing this out here, trying to fill time slot. Let me ask you this. If you could cast right now a guy to play, Spider-Man, who would you cast right now? since they're not going with Andrew Garfield again, they're obviously not going with 42-year-old, Tobey Maguire.
Oh, you put me on the spot of something I never thought about.
Right.
I went not sure. I know I'm nervous about it. I'm nervous about the Civil War thing, period, about how it's going to end up. Like Blake was saying, it's going to be a square peg in a circle hole. Because
I'm saving my comment.
they already came out and said in a press release that the Spider-Man they're going to go with is going to be a high school Spider-Man that basically is your classic early Spider-Man where fights crime and then it does his am I dating Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy thing. But the problem is that in Civil War, this is not the high school Spider-Man.
He's an established Spider-Man.
He's an established Spider-Man. He's in his late 30s.
For him to come out,
He was a he's been in the game for 20 years probably by then. He's not. He's been married, by divorce.
Yeah, he's not a kid.
No, not by any right. So
I think if they're going to do this, and they're rebooting Spider-Man again, they're doing all this, and I'm going to sit back and say we've already seen the origin. We've already watched Uncle
we don't
Ben
want an origin
die twice in 15 years.
Oh, you're not going to see that.
We don't need a third origin movie.
No, I don't think that's what.
Everyone is pretty damn positive how Spider-Man has come around.
Here's
familiar with
my concern. We can all agree the Sony-made Spider-Man movies leave a lot to be desired. Now, Marvel has been given rights to use Spider-Man, but Sony still has final approval. So that throws a little wrench in the situation that I don't like, because Sony has made all these, like we said, these decisions that comic book fans wouldn't have made.
Well, hold up now.
I don't think Sony's going to say that wasn't shitty enough. You got to go back.
Exactly. They've had to reboot twice now.
Yeah.
And now they're going to say, okay, we'll let Marvel take it over. But I guarantee you, it's going to be like, you know what? We don't like that part of it, so we want to tweak it a bit.
No, but here's the thing, though. With the deal that they have is Sony, by giving Marvel access to the Spider-Man character, Sony, when Spider-Man appears in these, I think it was the Civil War, Captain America Civil War movie, not the next Avenger movie, but the next Avenger movie.
Right.
And I think it's like 2 more appearances that they have right now. We're just going to wait and see how it goes. But Sony is not making any money off of those appearances.
No, but they do have final say. They
hold
already
on.
said that.
They're not making any money off of any of those characters, all those appearances, all those movies. The next Avenger movie, Spider-Man's in, can go out and gross $10 billion. Sony won't see a.
That worries me even more.
Wait a minute. However, in the trade-off was all these Marvel characters, Tony Stark and all them, have to appear in the new Spider-Man movies coming out.
Right.
And Marvel will make nothing off of them.
Right.
Also, in this whole thing was Sony's main goal was, okay, our last Spider-Man movies have kind of flopped stories, and we are aware of this. That's the big concern everybody has. They took Marvel's lead movie story person, who has come out and has connected all these dots, all these Marvel movies, and now she is moving over into the Spider-Man to help storyboard the Spider-Man movie and story. And Sony is giving her all of the help that do it. Just do it. We want a Spider-Man movie that's going to be as big as the Iron Man movie.
That's what they're saying to the public eye.
I think they will.
If everybody knows how Hollywood works, all it takes is one guy who thinks he knows better than everybody else.
And that's the Hollywood way.
But I think the way they're going to look, I agree. But I think the way they're looking at it is the second Spider-Man movie that Andrew Garfield made X amount of money. We'll throw a number out there. I think it made like $240 million. Okay. Right? The second Captain America movie made like $600 million compared to it.
Right.
The second Captain America movie. They looked at that and said, no, we want our Spider-Man movie to make that much money. It has to, by all means.
Now here's the question I have. Here's the question I have. Is that how it's going to go? Is when Spider-Man is introduced into this Avengers universe, okay, is that what it's going to be? Is it going to be a Spider-Man movie? And then after that, they'll move it into like Avengers 4? Or is it Spider-Man is just going to appear at the next Avengers movie?
That's pretty much how they
Spider-Man's going to appear in Civil War. In
Okay,
Captain America 3.
So, all right, with that being said, now we're past all that. We're going into Civil War. if you followed all those story arcs, it takes place. It's obviously just Captain America on one side, you have Tony Stark on the other. Former
Superhero
Avengers.
registration.
You have superhero registration. It's two former friends and allies that are split on the subject. Okay, so we all know inevitably what has to happen.
Oh, if you watch Winter Soldier, you know what it's setting up.
If you read the comics, if you've read the Civil War story arc, you know eventually that it leads to, spoiler alert, Captain America's death.
And that's where I kind of do it, because we already know that there's going to be the Avengers 3, which is not
Two-parter Avengers.
Yeah, there's going to be
Infinity
dissension.
War.
That's where the dissension starts.
So we know he's not going to die. Or if he does die, he's going to get resurrected right before it comes in there. So basically, there you go again. It's not going to be the Civil War we know.
No, well, wait a minute.
Chase, hold up.
Hold
Chase,
on, no.
what do you think about that? What Blaine just said.
I mean, that's back to what Blake said. They're going to make the square peg fit the round hole. They're going to change it to how they need it to work in this current universe. So I don't think it will be the same Civil War that we've read. It's going to.
I think he's going to get shot,
Well,
but
you
he's going
don't
to
have the
survive.
Characters.
He's going to go in ICU and come back.
And didn't it's Chris Evans, right, that plays Captain America?
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't he already come out and say that he's looking to retire from acting?
Yes,
He did.
actually,
Well, that's why I was
going
going to
to
bring that up with Blaine mentioned. Was they're going to do this and everything. I think that's what the whole thing is setting up. Is the next Avenger movie is going to start your whole something's going to happen in the Ultron movie, and it's going to cause the government to sit back and go, hey, we want all these metahumans to register,
Right.
or something along those lines. I don't think we have a big enough character universe in the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now to really have the whole Civil War be about registration, because as far as we know, there's 8 metahumans.
Right.
You're going to register
you don't
all
have
8
the-
of them?
You don't have the talent pool of the comics.
So I think the whole Civil War is going to be about a different issue, other than superhuman.
And that's true too, because it's
I
like
think
whenever
it's
they
gonna
did.
be a different issue.
You remember what was it? X-Men United.
I think it's going to still be
In which it was,
registration. I think
you had
it's
your
going to be
main
an internal
X-Men,
fight between
and then all of a
Avengers.
sudden when they do this movie, you have to come out with all these different characters out of the
Hurry up
bottom
and
of
throw
it,
'em out.
and they hurry up and they threw all those different mutants out there.
Uh-huh.
People that didn't even have speaking parts, they just showed their power and that was it. So
Right.
when you talk about Civil War, yeah, I mean you got to it takes place basically over the Marvel universe.
Yeah, I think
so-
I think the whole thing is it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be about registration. I think it's going to be about a different issue that's going to separate, Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, and it's going to all come down to Steve Rogers is going to be killed. That's Chris Evans' exit from the movie,
But-
like he wants, and they've already set it up.
He's
They've already.
contractually obligated through Infinity Wars too.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's actually
So you don't think
all
Falcon's
6
going to
movies.
become the new
Yeah, 6
Captain
movies altogether.
America?
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
he was
he's-
only contractually obligated up to the
Yeah,
the third Captain America movie, with the possibility to 2
No,
extensions.
he was 6-movie deal. 3 Caps, 3 Avengers.
I thought I remember Marvel making a statement about something that the Avengers lineup in the final one may not be the same lineup as in the first one.
No, they're saying it's going to be a different one, and I think by saying that they were letting hint that we're trying especially with the big Sony leak that came out, all the emails between Marvel and Sony. They want Spider-Man to be in the Avengers, and they're doing everything they can to put Spider-Man.
I'm glad you brought that up. Look how big of dicks those people can be. You think they ain't gonna sit there and say, "Hey, I want Spider-Man to be this way," and by the way, we don't like black people either. That's what they said in their emails. I mean, they had some really racist, backhanded stuff going on in those emails, and you're gonna think that they're gonna be fair with a comic book character?
It makes money.
Well,
And that's true. And really, when it comes down to it, that's
whole
the main
thing's about
issue.
money.
The whole thing is about how much money they're going to make with this news, with the fact that hey, we're going to bring in, Spider-Man. We're going to throw him in the mix. Hey, let's see what kind of money this can bring us.
Since the second Tobey Maguire movie, because the first one made a shit ton of money, the second one made more, and then after that they went downhill money-wise. All of them made less than the next one. And the whole time, all these other Marvel movies are just every one of them makes more money.
Oh God, yeah.
I think that's what it's just.
I hope you're right.
The whole reason I think they're putting.
I hope that's the case. I hope I'm wrong about it. It's just everybody can tell you. I mean, everybody sitting here has been disappointed by movies, and to me, this just has so much room to get messed up.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't gonna lie though.
It worries me.
Guardians of the Galaxy had an awesome soundtrack. It just
It was
did.
a great
Guardians
movie.
of the Galaxy was the greatest Marvel movie ever made yet.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
I think honestly,
Guardians was
it had
great.
the greatest line of any Marvel movie I have
In my
seen
opinion, it was
yet,
the
What's
best.
and that was Dave Bautista, who plays Drax,
Drax,
the Destroyer. When Rocket
was
Raccoon said,
Destroyer, though.
"Oh, don't worry about that.
No,
He's
he
not
was
going to get it.
Drax.
It's going to go over his head."
Destroyer was.
To which Drax the Destroyer goes,
They didn't even allude to it.
It will not go over
Drax
my
is
head.
Destroyer.
"I will catch it." You know what I mean?
My
Some-
reflexes are
Yeah, my reflexes are too
I'll
strong,
catch
too fast. I will catch it. I mean, and it was like, that was simple, that was effective,
Yeah,
that was awesome. You know?
Rocket's like giving his big thing. Oh, we're gonna need this battery. We're gonna have to distract these. Behind them, his group just like casually
Yeah,
walking
going
up to
over
it
there.
and pulling it off.
Yeah.
And he brings over and he says that and he smiles like, "I am Groot." It's like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing it now.
But back on the next Avengers movie. I know it's not about the Sony merger and all that stuff,
Right.
but what do y'all think about Scarlet Witch and that and all that stuff?
I think
Quick-
I'm kind of hoping now that it's opened the door.
to more.
Sony has come out and said, you know what, hey, we're going to do this. You can use our property, we'll use some of yours, we can make it work. I'm kind of really, really hoping 20th Century Fox is going to do the same thing. Because then we can call them mutants.
Yeah,
Because as of right now, they're just,
they're the twins or whatever.
they're the meta-human twins. They're mutants. I want to call them mutants.
I agree.
I want all this to...
And we can't even attach them to Magneto.
No. Or the X-Men or any of that.
Or incest? None of it.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
The good stuff.
Real quick,
But
I
they
just-
just need to...
for some reason, I've received a message in my head. I think I'm gonna send my wife a shout out real quick. Steph, I love you. I just want to send you a shout out.
Oh, here's the
For
Valentine's
nerds
Day
everywhere,
stuff.
listen, guys, dreams do come true. They do. There you go, baby. I'm sorry. I was fucking sappy. I'm sorry.
Why though?
I just had to,
I'm a little
man. I had
jealous.
to. Real quick, Chase, I wanted to ask you another question.
How much do you love your wife?
She's the light of my
come
life.
on, man. He bought her a house on the moon.
On the
I mean,
moon?
come on,
On the
dude. That is awesome.
Moon front property.
Yeah.
Hey, that's some
Crater front property.
Real quick, I want to ask
sea of
you,
tranquility.
because you kind of like to throw a lot of knowledge out there at us and stuff, and I'm gonna try this one with you. I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked Blaine a while ago. If you could cast the new Spider-Man, who would you cast?
It's interesting.
Yeah. Go around.
See, that's one of those ones that really make you think, doesn't it?
I think I
Yeah,
got
it does. Because I'd like to cast somebody young.
Well,
but I
you
don't
do,
know a whole lot of.
but then again, you're looking at a possible Civil War Spider-Man. That, like I said,
And that goes back. How are they going to approach Spider-Man? Is he just going to be, oh, he's always been there, or is it going to be?
Approach the Civil War.
Yeah, we just don't know.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be about registration because it won't make sense. So it's going to be about something else. What though?
All right, just pick. What would you pick? Who would we all pick for a young Spider-Man and an old Spider-Man? Let's just go that way.
I think it has something to do with Shield.
Tom Hardy and Tom Hardy.
No, I'm thinking.
wow, Tom Hardy as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That would be the buffest Spider-Man in the history.
Tom Hardy as teenager Spider-Man. Current
Tom
Tom Hardy as teenager Spider-Man. He'd pull it off.
As teenage Spider-Man.
Tom
How
Hardy,
about
Zac Efron.
Tom
Wait a
Hardy
minute.
would make a
Wait
great
a minute.
Venom.
Zac Efron.
older, cracked out looking Macaulay Culkin as Spider-Man? I mean, my goodness, dude,
As
that
young
would
Spider-Man?
he could be.
Yeah.
Think about
You
it.
know he's got time to do it.
He had plenty of time to do it.
I'm saying Zac Efron.
I mean, sitting back at home eating
Zac
meatloaf.
Efron's like what, 6'1". He's incredibly jacked. I think he just got out of
Now, you
rehab
see,
for like
I'd be
cocaine.
jealous.
That's interesting. Hey, wait, that's interesting you
Makes
bring
me
that up
jealous.
about Zac Efron being incredibly jacked, and we bring up Tom Hardy because we all know how incredibly dreamy Tom Hardy is.
Okay.
He always makes fun of me, and I get mad. I get really pissed off.
What do I
You
do?
know, especially this one too. When I bring up
Joker.
no, although
Yeah.
that did sound good coming off your mouth. No, when I bring up Sunday Comics Spider-Man, if you look at Sunday Comics Peter
canon.
Parker, I know, but the dude's like 6'3". You know, Chris Evans would have been perfect to be that Spider-Man. You know, he's like 6'3", 220. You know, he's jacked up and
Are you going
everything.
to do a serious one now?
I'm serious. So think about this.
I think Zac Efron.
I think Zac Efron would make a sexy Spider-Man
I
if
think
we
he'd be a
had
fun
to do it.
Spider-Man.
I guess he could. If I had to pick a young Spider-Man,
Daniel Radcliffe.
and I'm sorry, I
Harry
don't.
Potter. Bam. Watch horns.
Ugh.
Watch horns. Watch horns.
Anyway,
Anybody seen horns?
No.
Watch
exactly.
What about?
Well,
wait a
no.
minute.
Watch it.
Anyway, no, young
Change
Spider-Man.
your
I got to get it out. Young Spider-Man.
No, I'm gonna keep
I don't
interrupting.
know the
you.
kid's
I ain't gonna let you
name.
do it.
I don't know the kid's name, and it's a damn shame. But the kid that plays Coral.
Well, Rick.
Chandler Riggs.
Who's
Chandler
that?
Riggs.
Yeah, Chandler
Chandler
Riggs.
Young Spider-Man.
That's the right age for
old-
teenager Spider-Man.
Old Spider-Man though, Pauly Shore. Wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, Pauly Shore as old Spider-Man. I think that would be badass. Chilling with the Weasel. Okay, we've trailed off tremendously
We have.
from
Chandler
this
Riggs is
subject.
like, what,
Chandler Riggs, actually, when you think about it, Chandler Riggs is pretty awesome.
He's a good actor.
But then again,
It's pretty good, man.
what if you kind of, you know, maybe threw a 2099 Spider-Man in there?
No.
You know, what if you threw in
a
a Wilder Valderrama like, you know, Spider-Man
Miles
in there?
Morales,
Yeah.
current Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe, which seems to be what the Avengers movies are trying to go after.
Right.
The
Throw
ultimate,
Jaden Smith up in there.
Jaden Smith.
ultimate version of Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Apparently,
I would
shit
like
like
to
that
see
makes
that.
sense on the move.
Incorporate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Peter Parker. But I think that would be a little
Jaden
too unpopular. They thought, that's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and that's not Peter. Who the hell is Miles Morales?
But
Who is that
I mean,
guy?
that's cool, but I think it's you know it's a wait and see thing right now for us. Excuse me, it really is. It's a wait and see kind of issue.
Right.
It's one of those things in which, hey, how we doing? One of our regulars coming and stepping in real quick to hang out with us. He's taking the glasses off. He's rolling up the sleeves. Here you go. But I like the fact of you know that they're gonna bring Spider-Man because like I said, I like the Civil War story arc. So if they're able to incorporate it, it's gonna be great. I think if they do it right, it's gonna be great. Not just money standpoint, but from a comic book standpoint, from an awesome action flick comic book story arc, standpoint. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Okay,
really
I got
good.
one. Since we're on the whole MCU thing right now, we're talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We haven't seen an Iron Man movie in a while. Blake, you're a resident Iron Man freak.
Let me tell you something.
What do you want the next Iron Man movie to be
I
about?
want the next Iron Man movie not to lie to me in promos. I'm glad you said this because Iron Man 3 pissed me off to no end. Because I was promised the Mandarin. I'm watching the trailers.
Yeah.
Here comes the Mandarin, and it was a movie about extremists. Now, if you would have told me, hey, this is going to be a movie about extremists, cool, no problem, love it, let's do it.
Now, was it
But-
you who were telling me that
What?
there's a theory going around saying that the Mandarin really was the Mandarin?
Yes,
And that he just played stupid?
yes,
get
there
away?
is that theory too. Which if they did that,
awesome.
then
That's
I
amazing.
retract everything and I say you're all geniuses.
Because Ben
Well,
Kingsley would have been a great
Because they
man.
have a thing where he's in a jail. It's like a little short thing,
Yeah.
and the Mandarin's in the jail, and he's watching everything go down, and it's like, it's kind of inferred like, no, he's the fucking Mandarin, and that would be really cool. But until that comes to fruition, I'm mad because you should have just told me it was extremists. Cool, great, but to tell me I'm getting the Mandarin and it's not,
Yeah, I
that
was
made
kind
me
of upset.
really, really mad.
I liked it. I thought it was a cool movie.
And I thought Ben Kingsley made an awesome Mandarin.
when they would do those like terrorist videos,
Like,
and he's sitting there
he
like,
was scary.
and you're like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
This is
And then
exactly
when they
what.
showed him, what was
I
his
like
name?
this.
What was his name in it? Like Terry or something? I can't
Yeah.
remember. And it was like when he started talking, it was like, what are they doing? What are they doing? And
I like that though because it's when I went home and I looked it up, and a lot of people think that that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
Is that
If they
Mandarin
do, they're
really was
genius.
Mandarin, and he just played stupid to get out of it.
what does the moon say about all that?
I actually didn't mind how they did that because I wasn't sure how they were going to do the Mandarin. The Iron Man series, I mean, the whole MCU has gone into the magical things and all, but the Iron Man series has always been grounded a little bit in reality. I didn't know how they were going to do the Mandarin, and that was just a creative way of getting around that.
Well, they're about to change all that with Doctor
obviously
Strange.
the moon
Yeah, they will.
Tonight.
Tell me if I might be off base, but I think in the next Iron Man movie, the new villain, in my opinion, should be Bing Bang Boom.
It would be extremely cool if they had him in there.
Big dragon.
Bing
Big
Bang
alien
Boom.
fucking dragon.
Hold
That
up,
would
man.
be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just
one way
thinking
that
about
was
We're gonna
something.
kick his ass.
But that's really putting the square peg in a round hole. Just bringing in fucking things.
But here's my
Taylor
my-
Swift.
Out of nowhere,
Taylor
an
Swift
alien
as Squirrel
dragon.
Girl.
Taylor.
There it is.
Well, here's my original question.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
What do
you want my
the
money?
next Iron Man
You want
movie
my
to
money for that? Because that is how you get my money. See,
Taylor Swift.
I
as
like this.
Squirrel
I
Girl.
like this idea.
There you go.
Brandon asked me
No, Nicolas
what,
Cage
what
is
I
Squirrel
think the
Girl,
next
too.
Iron Man should be about.
Yeah.
If it's not going to be showing that the Mandarin had this elaborate ruse the whole time, I would like to see some of the, you could call them alternate Iron Men in there, like maybe Detroit Steel or Cobalt Man or like all that
I
stuff.
want to see drunk
Yeah.
Tony Stark.
But Detroit Steel, I always
Titanium Man or the Crimson
I think-
Dynamo would be a great.
Yeah, like, I'd
Throw
like
in.
to see
Like that
that,
Paul
like
McCartney
armor
song?
versus armor.
Well, I don't think they wanted to go the alcohol route.
I
They didn't
like
want to
it,
bring
though,
up
man.
alcoholism in the movie for some reason.
I think you
They
know why?
did.
Because a lot of little
They
kids
did in
are
the
watching
second
it
movie.
now.
But here's the thing, though. I think they got around it by having the third movie be about his whole fear of death and the inevitable, and that was the alcohol story.
Right.
As
that.
a Death in a Bottle or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Demon in a bottle.
Demon in a
That's
bottle.
what I forgot to bring you. I'm gonna give it to you.
Really?
Yeah, you want it.
Oh, that's awesome.
As I'm sitting here
You
thinking,
paid $8 for it on eBay.
to bring us back to Spider-Man real quick, I'm for some reason I was thinking about this guy in my head. Don't worry about it. Could you imagine Nick Jonas as Spider-Man?
Who the fuck is Nick Jonas?
Nick Jonas from the
What's
Jonas
a
Brothers,
Jonas brother?
who is ridiculously jacked right now.
He's not a 13-year-old girl. He doesn't know who the Jonas Brothers
Right,
are.
but he's actually incredibly
He's like
jacked.
the new kid on the block.
Chase, do you know
He's
what
the
a
new
Jonas
Mark
is?
Wahlberg.
Mark
You know what a
Wahlberg
Jonas
was
brother is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what a Jonas brother is?
You don't watch South Park?
Oh yeah, the Purity Ring.
Purity rings, man.
There you go.
All you gotta do is play on
Thank
South
you,
Park.
Chase.
You don't
I figured out how I would cast
talk to me
it.
like that, you little piece of shit.
There's-
But I would like to see the next Iron Man movie. I don't know, man.
maybe we should save this for like another total.
Yes,
topic.
yes.
Well, no,
Like,
well,
Oh.
we're talking
I
about
know, but
MCU.
like,
Figured out my
keep it
Spider-Man
short so
casting.
people will watch. And if
Yeah.
we go on for 3 hours,
It's still.
because you get me started on Iron Man, I'm a fucking talk.
I know that's why I'm trying to veer off my guy
I'm-
right now because I don't want to roll this into 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so Marvel Universe, I guess we can all agree that it's going to be a great thing bringing Spider-Man into the fold, even though we all may have our own reservations about it.
It's
So-
a wait and see thing.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's great news. I don't think anybody can say that it's not great news.
No.
Good. Come on back, Spider-Man. We'll have a burger for you or something.
But wait.
I told
Everyone
y'all,
on
man, I think
Twitter
they
making the same, giving the same pictures up. It's like, welcome home, Spidey.
Yeah. So
I mean, I
That's
mentioned it earlier. I think that
You know
they
what we
should
need if we-
they need to refilm the secret after credit scene to include Spider-Man
Yes.
for the new Avenger movie.
Yes.
They have to do it.
Yes.
So good. That's a good point to end on. And let's change the credits. Let's make
Chase,
sure we don't fuck up
Chase.
Spider-Man. And
talk over your cousin real quick, Chase. I want to ask you. I want you to end it for us real quick, Chase. Real quick. With this thing. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this question. Once you answer it, we're gonna stop it immediately. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. If you could cast the new Joker, who would you cast?
Oh my lord.
Jaden Smith.
Get the fuck, turn this. Turn